Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. First of all, I must apologise for how I sound in today's video. I am absolutely ram-packed full of flu. I'm wrapped up to the nines in jumper, scarf and long trousers, and yet I still feel awful. So I apologise for sounding very nasal during this review. If I do get on your nerves, then feel free to mute me. This is the first offering from the Iron Warrior series. This is IW-01 Gear 07. This is basically a build your own kit version of Ratchet from the 07 movie. Now, from my understanding, this is kind of their take on what Takara are already doing with the DMK kits, and this is designed to scale and look the part with the recent MPM Masterpiece series. Just looking around the box, it's very minimalistic. It's a nice small box as well, so cheap to ship, and there we just have kind of a schematic drawing of Ratchet. I would include a link in the description below where you can purchase this over at Robot Kingdom. So let's get this guy out of his plastic prison. Right, out of the package, he comes as a very kind of skeletal looking robot. Looks and feels very much like something that Fans Want It would make. It's not a terrible plastic at all, it's actually quite nice. Pretty much on par with what we got for Forever Toys, but at a fraction of the cost. We get a set of instructions with some stickers. Yay. I love stickers. And we get lots of baggies filled with parts. Right, baggie one is open and we start on his left foot. That's just gonna push and click into place. There is a specific order for these things to go in. Making heads or tails of these things isn't always as easy as it looks. Now these sorts of kits are pretty much ideal if you're not fussed about having them transform, and you're just going to have them displayed, because you can then get some very good looking bots in your collection with great screen accuracy for a fraction of the cost you would pay for something the likes of Forever Toys. Number one. Now, number two stays on the same leg, but we just make our way further up. We're now working on his thigh, again pushing everything in until it all clicks correctly into place. Got a piece for the outer thigh. And the last piece just slides in on the back there. Now we need to do the same with this leg. That's what 3 and 4 are, and we should be left with 2 legs that look like this. Now 5 and 6 concentrate on either side of this torso section, starting off with this piece going on this lower groove. Again, just push until that clicks firmly into place. Now these back segments actually stack on top of one another, so you have to do them in a specific order. You have this first one, and you come in with the wheel piece, and then finally we bring in the top piece. Bag 7 continues work on this back section, starting with his butt panel, sliding in the lower back, and then up and over to the trapezium area. Come back down to this lower hole and slide this one all the way in. These pieces plug in either side of this back panel, build the tyre, slide that in, and just tab this onto the back, pushing it firmly. Now with 8 we go to the front of the torso. Our first port of action is to grab these small pegs, and each one is equipped with a small tab on the top, so you know which way around they go. There we go, that's located. We can just push those all the way in. These two tabs here are going to line up on the chest. Unfortunately, we now have to do the same again with this torso piece and more of these pegs. That now tabs in on top of that piece we just added. This lower tab piece just goes in there, and then this goes over the top of it. That's the front bumper or fender, depending on your location. You can bring in these wheel arches, and again just place your finger behind and just push and secure that in. 9 and 10 work on opposite arms, starting with the forearm, just placing that piece in, then the outer forearm on top, and this piece here should slot in there. We have more pegs to pop in at the top of those shoulders, and the easiest way to do that is just to tilt the shoulders backwards because it gives you more access. Tab this front piece over. The side view mirror just tabs in to this part, and then we've got a tab here. This is going to wrap around the rear of the arm, and then we have 3 holes up here. We start by putting this piece in first, and then push in and wrap the other piece around it. And with both of those shoulders done, we should have something that looks like this. For number 11, come to his right hand and rotate it 90 degrees as a whole, either side of the hand, and we can just bring these pieces in, and they are going to tab in. And if you want to install his cutting disc, come around to the arm, and just want to take this piece out, this tab piece, just going to just slide in, then grab this peg here, slide it through the first cutting blade, bring in the smaller cutting blade and peg that in on top, just slide this disc into the tab on the arm, and there we have the cutting blade mounted. Here we have him fully made up, and yes, that's definitely a striking resemblance to Ratchet. It's a fantastic looking figure. It's a little bit too fiddly for my liking. I have quite clumsy hands, and it was quite difficult to get everything into place. But if you love your kit building, then this is a really good way to get a screen accurate Ratchet. I mean, just look at these 3 all together. Yes, he doesn't transform, but he definitely has that shelf presence that we desire from our movie collection. And of course, here he is with Unique Toys' take on the movie Lockdown figure. That's a great pairing. Right, and let's take a closer look at the detailing. That's an exceptional head sculpt. Nice piercing blue eyes there, and the head can look up and down. We can go left and right, and we can tilt side to side. Got a lot going on with these shoulders, but we do still have shoulder joints going forwards and backwards, and we can come up to the side and down. Very limited movement there, but there's movement nonetheless. Upper bicep rotation. We do get a bend at the elbow, and of course I do have this gun kind of section now mounted on his hands. I don't like how his hands are permanently bent over, but that is pretty accurate to his CGI counterpart. Let's just take a look at the opposite hand. They can rotate, and we do have articulation on the fingers and the thumbs. On this side we do have the spinning saw discs. Top one not so much, bottom one spins quite nicely. We have an abdominal crunch up and down there. We do have a left and right twist and turn, albeit very stiff indeed. The legs can come all the way up to the front and all the way back, come out to the side this much. Huge hindrance there with these wheel arches. We get rotation at the knee, get just beyond 90-degree bend on that knee. We get a piston that moves up and down that leg shaft. We get some tilt left and right, but unfortunately there is no left and right movement on the lower leg. It is all dependent on that knee rotation. So for movie accuracy, he scores quite highly, but articulation wise he is very hindered. The kibble that comes with Ratchet as standard does get in the way somewhat of his movements, and considering what Unique Toys did with their Lockdown, getting him to look so good in both modes and giving him killer articulation, I think they really have set the boundaries quite high for other rival competitors. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you already have a Ratchet in your collection and you're happy with this scale, then no, maybe this isn't the figure for you. But if, like me, you don't have a Ratchet and they are going to just be displayed in their robot mode, then yes, this is a very good stand-in for Ratchet himself. Thanks again to Robot Kingdom for making this review possible. I've included a link in the description below where you can purchase this. And until next time, from myself and the Iron Warrior 01 Gear 07, thanks for watching.